Look at that, everyone. I am back on my floor because apparently I can't do really deep and personal get ready with me's unless I'm sitting here on my carpet. Hello everyone, I am here today to share with you guys a super special get ready with me. Not only is this something that you guys have been requesting for a really long time, and I have a ton of questions from you guys that I want to get into all around my battle with anxiety, but this video is also supporting the bigger platform, which is YouTube Giving Week. And for those of you that haven't seen it yet, YouTube Giving Week is a week where YouTube is trying to rally everyone together, from content creators to people watching YouTube, to support these 5 really important and amazing causes. And they asked me to participate, which I was super honored to do so, and I chose the mental health platform, which is being kind of led by the game theorists. I'm actually going to be part of their live stream, which is happening tomorrow, which I will link all the information that you guys need to see in the info bar below if you want to go and check it out. I hope you will. All of the causes that YouTube is supporting are incredible, and I'll get a little bit into the foundation that I'm supporting today, but also wanted to let you know that on RachhLoves Life, my other channel, yesterday I uploaded a video supporting St. Jude, so you can go and check out that video as well if you are interested. But now on to the foundation today. And the organization that we're supporting as part of the mental health platform is the Brain and Behavior Research Organization, which is a nonprofit that supports mental health research. Every single dollar, 100% of every dollar that's donated goes directly to the scientists who are coming up with these amazing breakthroughs in the area of mental health. And I wanted to share one particular breakthrough that they are currently funding that hopefully will be available in clinics in the near future. And I just wanted to share it with you because they were one of the early supporters of the scientists that are developing it, is the idea behind rapid acting antidepressants. I was gonna say breakthroughs. I'm too excited. Typically, antidepressants will take a number of weeks to start to kick in and start to work, which can be really hard for people who are in a really dark place. And so these rapid acting ones are supposed to start working in 2 to 4 hours, which is incredible. So you can go and check out their website if you're interested in hearing more about the types of work that they're doing. If you are interested in donating, and I hope that you are, you can click on the donate button, which is right beside the video. Click donate as much as you want. Totally up to you. It could be 50 cents, it could be $10, it could be $100, whatever you are comfortable with. And if you're not able to donate today, that's okay. If you are able to share this video with friends and relatives, that's amazing. Watching this video and clicking on it, that was amazing. And I will be donating myself as well. So thank you so much for watching and supporting this video, because you are also supporting the cause. And yeah, I'm really excited to be a part of this. I have talked enough. Well, I mean, I'm gonna be talking a lot more, but I want to get into the makeup. I want to get into your questions. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for watching this video, donating if you can. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so I did my brows because I can't talk while doing my brows. Is that weird? So while I do my eyeshadow, let's start with the first question, which is, how did you know you had anxiety and not just high school levels of stress? Which is a really good question. So I actually realized a little bit that I had some form of anxiety in university, and I remember distinctly there was this one point where I would just be in the shower and I would just cry. I would just cry for no reason, and it was my body releasing that stress. Like I needed to have an outlet for it, otherwise I was going to explode. There wasn't any specific reason why I was crying. There were a lot of things that were stressing me out. At the time, I was living in a house with 6 people, one of which was my ex-boyfriend. Tell me that was a good idea. Honestly, Rachel. I think it was actually my mom who was like, go and talk to your doctor. We'll see what this is about and all that kind of stuff, because OCD and anxiety and things like that do run in my family, which I didn't know about. So I guess my mom has been watching me like a hawk. So I started by seeing a therapist anytime I went home. So that was about once every 2 weeks or so for a while there. And I found that every single time I was going to these appointments, I was crying. It was very unproductive. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a lot harder than I thought. I'm trying to be as organized with how I explain what's going on, but like you guys have a lot of really good questions here. So maybe I'll just start like at that point when I was in therapy and kind of go from there, because I feel like I will answer a lot of your guys' questions with explaining how I got to this point. So between crying in the shower and, there was one point I remember I was in a grocery store and I actually I don't know how to explain it other than I blacked out and I just took this other woman's cart and started wheeling around in a daze. I was so overwhelmed with like having to be on a budget and trying to navigate my way around a store. It was getting dark. I didn't want to take a cab home because it was getting really late. And so I was trying to call for, like, it was just, I was stressed out. And this poor woman is like following me around because I'm just like, like doing my thing. And she like comes up to me and she's like her purse is in this cart. Like, she didn't know what I was doing. Like, I felt so bad. Things like that just kept occurring over and over, led me to talking to my doctor about it, and the ways in which my stress and anxiety were manifesting themselves. I was getting very sick. I was unable to eat things. It turned into like a form of IBS for a while there. I was in and out of the hospital, and I was losing a ton of weight because I couldn't keep anything down. And I was just constantly like, I remember being on the floor in my university house and just vomiting constantly because I couldn't keep the food down. I couldn't look at anything. I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't see anything. I was just so sick. And so I would just take like a Benadryl and go to bed and start the whole day over again. And there was no triggers in terms of like what the food were. We were concerned that it was like celiac for a while. So we started like playing around with, you know, going off of gluten and like testing out that. And that didn't seem to help. And there was just no consistency to what was causing it. And because I couldn't figure out what was going on with my health, I needed to take control in other ways. So I was very strict about how I ate and when I ate and how I cleaned my room and when I went to school and when I went home. Like, I was just very strict with myself. And you know, I couldn't let go. So I went home, I spoke to a therapist, talked about some stuff, and I just, again, like, I couldn't get anything out. I couldn't talk. I was just sobbing constantly, and this poor woman's like trying to talk to me and you know, calm me down, and I just like, I couldn't have any of it. So going back to my doctor, they're like, okay, we're gonna start you on a low dose of medication to try and just even everything out. And the way they explained it was really good, and so I want to share my perspective of medications with you guys and how it was presented to me, because I feel like sometimes in society we see, you know, going on medication as a failure and also as happy pills. Like, you take these pills and then you're happy again. And that's not how it should work. So the way that my doctor approached it is, okay, let's figure out where the connection is missing in your brain. What is causing you to feel the way that you're feeling? We'll test out a bunch of different things until we find one that works, because different medications are going to fix different problems. So not every single one is going to work for you. There are SSRIs, there are SNRIs. I tried SSRIs and nothing. I tried 5-HTP, which is to my understanding, like a naturopathic form of medication. Nothing, did not work for me. And it wasn't until I found the one that I was on that I was like, huh, we fixed that bridge, we fixed that gap. And there's a lot of like technicalities that go into these different classes of medication. I need to stop doing makeup because I need to explain this. Not every medication is going to work if you need medication. Again, I'm not a doctor. I needed medication, and the reason I did is because there were certain chemical imbalances in my brain, and I needed to prevent any sort of reuptake of certain chemicals in my brain from happening, because that was what was the issue. Again, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor. That was my very, top level understanding of what's going on. And to me, that was such a practical answer, and it really spoke to me from I love research and everything, so that made sense to me. And I remember finding the one that I'm on now and being on it for a week or two and going back into my therapist's office, and we're sitting down and we're chatting, and the therapist looks at me and she's like, Rachel. I'm like, And she's like, you realize you're not crying right now, right? And I was like, huh. And it was because I had found that balance. I had found the spot that wasn't working fixed it so that then I could work on my issues. The going on medication wasn't going to solve my issues. And that's another thing that I find a lot of people just assume. I'll go on medication and that'll solve all the issues in my life. To me, it was putting myself in balance so that I could address all of the issues going on in my life in a more balanced way, in a way that I could feel like I was making progress. I could see everything with a clear head, and I could make gains in fixing those problems. Not even fixing them. I haven't even fixed them. I just found a way of dealing with them, if that makes sense. Because the issues that I had involved other people, and you can't fix other people. You just have to fix yourself and how you address them. And once that clicked, everything else was a lot easier for me to handle. So fixing all of my health issues. I need to get back to makeup here. I went to a naturopath and she gave me a bunch of like powdered vitamins that could get into my system fastest and deal with the issues because I had a burned esophagus. It's a whole big thing. And that helped me feel physically a lot better. And then I had a lot more mental clarity, and then I could attack and address the issues that I was facing. So then I was feeling good. I was feeling a lot stronger. I was on a relatively high dose of the medication at the time, and I really wanted to go off of it. I wanted to, because I felt like I had fixed the issues. That was going to be the end of that, and I didn't need medication anymore. And so I tried going off of it right before my wedding. I don't know why I did that, but I did. And I did it really gradually. I did it with my doctor. There's no joke going off of medications if you've been on them for a long time. Actually, at any point, if you have any thoughts on going off of them, because it requires a lot of time to like slowly dwindle down to a low dose before going off of it. And even still going off of it was horrific. Just the things that they talk about, the brain zaps, the constantly crying, being really, really sad all the time. It was awful. Did not enjoy that at all. And so I finally got off of it. I finally had a more manageable level to where I was at in terms of like, I wasn't dealing with the brain zaps or anything like that. I was still really sad. And I struggled a lot. I was doing YouTube at the time, and I wasn't doing videos that often because I was really sad. I don't know how else to explain it. I felt really sorry for myself. I felt like I couldn't accomplish anything. I was constantly beating myself up, and it was really hard. I remember being in bed a lot of the time and I just didn't want to get up, or I just wanted to like crawl into a laundry basket is the best way I can describe it. I just wanted to crawl into a teeny tiny space and just like disappear and just live that way. And it was really hard. It was hard on me. It was hard on my family. It was hard on Chris, trying to navigate being with someone who is dealing with anxiety is really, really hard. And I have a lot of sympathy for anyone out there that is currently trying to do that. And I'm going to get into a little bit of that in a bit. And I was just sad. I just wanted to be sad and pity myself and, not get out of bed, not do anything. And that's just not like me. And Chris would sit with me or lie down with me for hours in silence, and I wouldn't say anything. I would just be crying. I would just be really sad, and it wasn't getting any better. So finally, we made the decision to talk to my doctor again and maybe going on, the lowest dose of the medication and sort of the pediatric dose, and, seeing how I felt at that point, and then we can make decisions on lowering it or not, or increasing it or not, based off of my results from that. So I remember getting the medication, picking it up, and Chris is at work at the time, and I was sitting on the couch, and this was in our old house. I remember sitting on the couch. I remember holding the bottle of pills and just sobbing. I could not bring myself to do it. I was like, this isn't gonna work. I'm not gonna be better. This is it. Like, I'm such a failure. And it's a really strong mental state. When you're there, it feels really real, that you feel like you can't accomplish anything, and it's scary. So Chris actually came home from work. He just he left work, and I knew I needed to take it. I just felt like a failure, and I felt like, wow, I spent the last 8 months, trying to feel better, and it didn't work, and I couldn't bring myself to take it, and I needed the strength from Chris to sit down with me and help me to get to a place where I took it, and then I sobbed my eyes out, and then a week or two later I felt so much better, and I was like, I need to be on this. I need to be on this for the rest of my life, and I need to be okay with this. And then fast forward to today, I am on the pediatric dose of my medication, and it works really well for me. Am I still having down times? Yes, absolutely. Every week I have down moments. It's not going to fix that, and that's okay. That is okay. But it makes me feel more balanced. If there are moments in my life where I am really stressed out about anything, it definitely does make a difference in keeping me balanced, but it makes it so that the everyday is more manageable. And when there are points of higher stress, I need to be alone, and I need to cry and be sad for myself, and that's okay, and that's normal. And I know that I'll feel better soon, and that's what kind of keeps me going. I have moments where I can't look at anyone. I can't even be with my children. I just need to go and be sad by myself. And Chris is very supportive and super helpful with that. But I have those down days, just like I feel like everyone does. And sometimes I'll get ocular migraines where I see sort of like zigzaggedy spots over my vision that dissipate with time. I will get actual like migraines. I will just cry. It can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. What I'm trying to say is that I have found something that works for me, and I know enough about myself that I know when I need to ask for help, and I think that's really important. And I will just tell Chris, I'm sad. It could be in a text message, because sometimes I just can't use words, and he'll be very supportive, and he's always there to keep me grounded and just make me feel better. And he's been a godsend. So that's made a big difference in, my health. And I'm in a good place now, but it took a lot of work for me to get here, and it was worth it. And I now get to share that experience with you. Okay, so now that you guys know a little bit more about my story, I want to answer some more of your questions. How did you open up to your family about having anxiety? I am very, very blessed that I have parents that just backed me. They were just, I knew what I was feeling, and I was scared about what I was feeling, and they're like, yes, let's go to the doctor. You need to be on medication? Yes, let's go put you on medication. You need to go and see a therapist? You will go and see a therapist. Here's an interesting one. How do you deal with failure? And I feel like, as someone who is very type A and also deals with anxiety, I tend to view a lot of things as failures. And it is a big struggle for me to retrain the way that my brain thinks about failures and see them instead as learning opportunities, or that wasn't meant to be, but it opened a door to something else. And just think back to moments in my life where I thought something was a failure, but it ended up being the biggest gift I could possibly imagine. And thinking back to those moments, I think, okay, I'm in that moment right before something great is going to happen, and that's okay. Or it was a learning experience that is going to make the next step better. And failures are learning experiences. And I've lost my job before, and I have struggled to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And had I not lost my job, had I not had those struggles, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys because I wouldn't have even considered YouTube. Oh man, this is a very intense video. I haven't even made a joke yet, everyone. You're so proud of me, I'm learning. Another question I was asked a lot was how Chris deals with it and what he does to help in some way. I know that there are probably people out there that aren't necessarily dealing with anxiety and depression themselves, but someone close to them is. I can understand how hard it must be because you want to be there for the people in your life that are struggling, but you don't know how to do it in a way that's going to be helpful and productive, and I completely understand that. I was talking to Chris about this earlier because I wanted to get his thoughts on, you know, what does he do? Like, I genuinely don't actually know if he has a process or whatever it is to how he handles when I say I'm sad, when I say I need help. And the issue is that there isn't a step-by-step for him, at least. He knows me so well, and he just knows what I need when I need it. He was saying that he just sort of reads the situation. Do I need a hug? Do I need to be listened to? Do I need a coffee? Do I need some cookies and a show? Every person's going to be a little bit different, and every person is going to want to be around people in a different way. So there isn't really a, hey, do this and the person will feel better. I wish that there was. I think that would be amazing. There isn't really one, but Chris has he's really had to deal with it with me, and I give him tremendous credit, and everyone who is helping people with anxiety, because we aren't exactly the happiest bunch in our downtimes, and we rely heavily on the people around us for comfort and feeling like we're okay. So it takes a lot, and I'm so grateful to have the support that I do. I feel like every person is going to want a different way of being helped, I guess. Sometimes I don't want to talk about it, but I just want to sit with someone and just chat until I feel emotionally stable enough to talk about it. Sometimes I just need to vent. I just need to talk and talk and talk and talk, and just having someone who is genuinely there to listen is so amazing and so helpful. But I would not be where I'm at right now without the support of my friends and family, and I can't stress enough how important it is to not keep it to yourself and to talk to someone if you feel like you're struggling. And that has been a tremendous gift for me, and it's made all the difference in my mental health. How long did it take you to talk about my anxiety with people? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know why I decided to say a question and then paint my lips red. There we go. Bright red. I feel like it took me a while to admit to friends that I had anxiety and I was suffering and I was struggling. With family, I told them right away, obviously, but with friends, I felt like I needed to have some sort of direction. Like, I felt like I needed to know where I was going with it before I could tell people what I was doing. And I remember telling one of the first people I told was my roommate, and she immediately told me after that she was suffering from an eating disorder, and I had no idea. And I think that really speaks to how private we can be in these issues, in these struggles. And a lot of times we don't want to talk about this at all, and we suffer quietly, and I'm tired of it, and I don't want people to feel ashamed of having anxiety, having depression, struggling with something. It is in no way a negative thing, and it is something no different, to me at least, than having someone who has diabetes use insulin to make themselves feel better. How is that any different than me having some sort of an issue with my brain and needing medication to fix it? Mental health issues have had such a bad rap, and I'm so happy that there are movements out there now where people feel strong enough to talk about their issues and provide people with comfort that they're not the only one. And it was something I wish I had had and I didn't. And so I hope that this can be helpful for some of you out there. And I just want to say that you're not alone, and we're all dealing with, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna cry. You are not alone, and you are loved, and you matter. And the fact that you're watching this video is important. The fact that so many people already have donated to wonderful causes like the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation is important. And the fact that there's research out there now to help people is important. And I'm very proud of that. And I'm proud to be a part of this today. All I want is to be helpful. So I hope that this video was helpful, and it was helpful for me. Oh my gosh, I feel like I've talked forever. I feel like my makeup's not even. I was so busy talking. But I hope you guys found this video to be helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Please donate if you are able to, and check out the video that I did on RachhLoves life, just talking about my favorite things of 2018 in supporting St. Jude's Hospital. I hope you guys, again, found this video to be helpful in some way. Please share it with others so we can donate more to these fantastic causes. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all in my next video. Love you all. Mwah.